Hello, how you doing? Hope you're good. This is Bugo Swagger and welcome to Swagger's Lifestyle. It's always amazing coming every Saturday or probably almost every Saturday. I'm glad to be here because today is going to be a very awesome conversation. Oh, we're dealing about how to deal with financial pressure. Globally, there's been a rise in food, fuel, and energy prices. There's been a lot of debt distress, and there's been a lot of stringent, tight financial conditions living everywhere. Because even sometime in UK, there's a fight about the cost of living prices. So this issue is an issue that is everywhere, and we have to talk about it. So today we're having a conversation with someone that is not new to this channel. I like to say that he's always the preferred guest. So we have to wait up. So I'll just allow him to please introduce himself while we start this conversation. Can we meet again?
Hi everyone, my name is Babatunde Ayodijalo. Always a pleasure to be here. Like she said, it's not my first time here, so yeah, I'm sort of like a furniture on this show, but it's what it is. I like to be here. Thank you very much. I hope we're able to help one another today and understand about how or why we are where we are and how to get out of this corner if we find ourselves in some very nasty corner when it comes to financial exposure and debt management. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we'll just go straight into, the conversation. How would you define financial pressure?
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
How would you define financial pressure?
Oh, financial pressure. Oh, okay. Um, the thing is, for us to be able to totally understand what we are on about today, we need to have a little bit of background to why we're where we are. So, financial pressure is caused by a lot of factors, but the one so that we don't over elaborate and cause a little bit of uh, it can be we can describe it as too much analyzing too much on what is currently on ground and then leading to a lot of confusion. So basically the world the globe the globally the world is in a dark place. Inflation all over the world. In the western countries, the manufacturing countries are not doing well at the moment. One of the major deciding factors that caused this is the coming of COVID, the shutting down of the industrial hub of the world, China, the Western services being offered, the marketplace, everything is in a big mess just because of that COVID period. The shutdown really didn't help anybody. And after then, the world is still yet to recover from that mess. So the financial pressure is caused by the nosediving of the world economic system. And then we in Nigeria, being a country, or Africa, or the southern hemisphere, being countries who are mainly consuming countries, we don't have any shock absorber. So whatever is coming from out there lands on us, and then we are in trouble basically. So some of our inflation problems are actually imported, because I mean, if the cost of things rises in America, for example, and we're then importing cars from America, and we're also using their currency, obviously we have imported inflation. So imported inflation is a type of inflation, or is a way in which inflation also comes into an economy. Don't let me be ahead of myself, but yeah. So these are the things that cause a bit of financial pressure. So financial pressure then comes into place where your spending power has not increased, and whereas the prices of everything is going up. So basically, what you have, your disposable income is chasing fewer goods. So when you have fewer goods that you can buy with the same amount of money that you're earning. Now, it's just recently that we're hearing that the government of Nigeria wants to increase a minimum wage and things like that, which they haven't quite done. If I know the story of Nigeria very well, that's just meant for politicizing. It's not safe to say that that's actually what's going to happen, or they're actually going to do it. So imagine our minimum wage still stands at somewhere below $50 per month for everyone. How are they supposed to cope with that when a bag of rice is looking at 50,000 naira? So basically, there will be financial pressure or hardship if your disposable income is not growing to match the disparity or the inflation or the going up and coming down in the economy all over the world. So there will be financial hardship because there will be the same amount of money chasing fewer goods. That means your
Okay.
spending power is deeply increased, is affected. You're not able to command the purchase of anything. You're not able to move ahead in life or move ahead in terms of consumption. If you need to change your car, you can't change it. If you need to buy a new house, you can't do that. So these leads to financial hardship, and the prices are going up as well. School fees are going up, things like that. Don't let me get ahead of myself. We'll get to all of these things in a bit.
Yeah, so that's yeah. So everything that you said is just money worries that bring about stress. Because
Yeah, yeah, basically.
as in like the stress is on a high because there's a lot of financial needs. And the truth, like you said, that there is what's it called, the spending power, or even your earning,
Hmm,
your income is not commensurate to what you spend. Like so much
hmm,
billings, and these billings are actually going, they're going haywire. They're going like higher and higher and higher. No money, no salary increase, no in fact. So let's just go into the conversation, because at the end of this conversation, we'll have to, get to a point where we say, okay, so no matter what you earn, this is how you could actually live within your means and take away stress from your spending. Now, so in cases where one partner is the sole breadwinner, how can the other partner help in this situation?
wait, no, please repeat yourself.
In cases where, now I'm
Yeah,
looking at financial pressure now, like in marriage or in that, that they have like a relationship with a partner. Yeah. So in cases
yeah.
where one partner is the sole breadwinner, how can the other partner help, given the current situation that we are?
Okay, so basically, the world as we know it has changed. Like I said earlier, or
Are you there? Okay, so I think the network is really bad at Bab's end. Babs, can you hear me? Okay, so I think now in cases where we have issues where your spouse is not, probably your other half is not working, and we have gotten to a period where the there's financial instability and the cost of living crisis is high. What I would actually advise is for the other spouse or partner to look for ways to either cut down on budget or look for ways to help. Okay, so I think I want to add parts here. Okay.
okay, sorry, I think I went off for a bit. Um,
Yes. Okay.
okay, I think I
Yeah. So
went
I
off for a bit, so I'm back up now. Okay,
yes.
so the question was how a partner can help the other partner is the financial stress.
Yes, please.
Okay. Okay, so this is the 21st century, and not just the 21st century. It's a time of our life that we have never seen before. These are crazy times. These are times that we have never before seen. A lot of our problems are imported as countries who are heavily reliant on things that happen outside the country. So this is a time that we have never seen before. Now we have in Europe, one of the biggest things that happened in the United Kingdom where Britain decided to leave Europe, and then we have Brexit that happened in the United Kingdom, where Britain decided to leave Europe, and then we have, which I'm sure this is going to cause a lot of argument with other people that might want to get involved in this. We have someone like Donald Trump that became U.S. president. We have wars all over the place, and then we have COVID. So these are extraordinary times, and I do not think, personal opinion, I do not think even if you're very comfortable, your partner should also not be doing something to add more to the table. As an economist, I can honestly tell you that if you have a billion naira, you have 1 billion naira, and you spend from this 1 billion every time without adding to it or multiplying it, it will shock you how quickly this money will finish. Let me expand on that. We're from the part of the world where we live communal. This is a communal system. Your neighbor expects you. This is your neighbor that is not related to you. That you didn't come from the same village. He expects that if you have some money, you should give him some of the money. If you have enough, you should send his kids to school. Now I know that these expectations don't have to be met, but even for those that are very, 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 very astute and difficult, after a lot of pressure, you find yourself helping people, um, putting your money in some things where you're thinking, why am I even doing this? Basically, your money is our money in Africa. So you can say things like, oh, yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that. But you find out that you're also helping people. You're helping friends, you're helping family, you're helping colleagues at work, your driver, your house help, different things. So yeah, these are extraordinary time. It is not a time for one partner to say, "Oh, my husband is rich or my wife is rich. I'm not going to do anything." Everybody, all hands has everybody, all hands have to be on deck. Everybody has to be bringing something to the table, no matter how little it is. Even if it knocks up just that fuel for generator, the diesel for generator, we all know how much this is going for right now. We know we're hearing things like if they take off subsidy, fuel price is going to go up to like 700 as we speak. In other part of the country, because of the currency problem we have in Benue last week, they're buying a liter of fuel for 700 naira. In Ghana, Cotonou, them places, they buy equivalent to Nigerian money. They buy 1 liter for close to 1,000 naira, which is why there's a lot of smuggling of petroleum products across the border. So this is not the time where someone goes, "Oh, I don't want to work. This is not the time to work," or "Oh, I just want to live a baby girl life," or the boy says, "Oh, my wife is rich. She's the director at Shell, so I'm not going to do anything." No, this is the time where everybody has to bring something to the table. All right. So how to cope with pressure if you have a partner? The partner has to get up and do something, no matter how small it is. So you lift the pressure off the person, the heavy lifting. Fine, one partner will always have to do the heavy lifting. That's not even up for debate. It's either going to be the wife or it's going to be the husband. So it's never equal. There's the inequality in earning. That's one of the major problems we face in Africa. Is inequality in earning. So either the wife is going to be the heavy lifter or the husband is going to be the heavy lifter. That's not a problem. What becomes the problem is when the other party just sits and folds their hands and says, "Okay, that's it. My wife is very okay. She's got this. I'm just going to sit down and look after the home." Nothing like that. Everybody has to get up and do something. That is the best way to help your partner go through the stress. Apart from getting up and doing something, encouragement. The Bible says, let me divert a bit and just use the scripture. Like I've always said on this program, the Bible is not just a spiritual book. It's also something that teaches wisdom. It teaches a lot of wisdom. If you read the Bible very well, it teaches you wisdom. It helps with spiritual understanding, physical understanding. It helps with economic understanding as well. The Bible says, "Oh, you sluggard, if you think you want to be lazy, look at the ants in the field, how they are together. One is pushing, the other one is pulling. Look at the ants in the field." And then the Bible also says, "One shall chase 1,000, and two shall chase what? 10,000." You can see the exponential increase in what two people can do. So it's not like one can chase 1,000 and two can chase 2,000. One can chase 1,000 and two can chase 10. That is to the power of 10. Just like that. So it's not just about you doing something as well. It's about being that support for everything, being the sounding board. Babe, what do you think about this? How do you think we can go through this together? Because two heads are better than one at the end of the day. Even if there are two bad heads, I promise you, two bad heads are better than one. There's a Yoruba proverb that says that ọ̀lẹ méjì wọ́n lè mú alágbára kan. So if two guys that you think, "Oh, I can beat these guys," if two of them gang up against you, they are going to beat you. So basically, all I'm saying is, if there's a problem and two people are chasing that same problem, they're going to be able to triumph against this problem. Okay, so it's not just doing the heavy lifting or one person helping the other that matters. It's the other one also being a sounding board. We need that support structure now. These are times where you need people to speak to. You're not just going to be getting depressed in your closet or just be thinking and just You need somebody you can talk to. You need someone you can rely on. You need somebody who's got your back at every point in time. So the partner is not just there to work and bring money to the table. The partner is there to also offer support intellectually, physically, emotionally, economically. Every ally that you get from your partner. So that's another way to be able to get through this stress.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's very profound, all that you said. And in the
Mm,
place where you're working together, you guys could
mm,
actually both make up, your mind on how to cut down expenses as much as possible. Because right now, what everybody is just shouting about or shouting out is basic, basic, basic. There's no time for frivolities. Basic. And what is basic? Food, shelter, and clothing. And that clothing
Clothing,
itself, possible. If you have clothes that you don't want, a long time, you can keep wearing them till this phase is over. But food must be in the stomach or on the table, and also ensure that you eat healthy so that your health is catered for. So now, how then do we cope in this cost of living crisis?
Okay, let me jump into your train of thought very quickly. Okay, so these are not times where you are giving. Okay, so these are times to, as the Bible will say again, to gather the corn. Yeah,
Mm,
before the famine. Usually, I don't know if you remember the story of Joseph in the Bible when he became the prime minister of Egypt. So when he knew that, or when the Lord revealed to him through dreams that there's going to be famine in Egypt, what did he do? He built barns and he started to gather the corn, right? I'm using the
yeah,
corn as is metaphoric. It's not literally corn or agbado as Tinubu. No, this is just gathering corn, right? This is
yeah.
you increasing the capacity of your barn for, because we don't know how long this is gonna last.
Mm,
We literally, I can't sit here. Nobody can tell you that this is not what's going to happen tomorrow. For example, at the beginning of after COVID, we didn't know that Russia and Ukraine are going to be going on with each other. Nobody called that.
yeah.
They started that, and guess what? Diesel went all the way to 900 naira. So now I can't tell you for sure that okay, the US and China or North Korea are not going to start after Russia and Ukraine start. So these are extraordinary times, yeah. These are times where these are periods where it's not time for you to start gathering things that are not economic. They're not economically productive. These are not times to start gathering luxurious products that will not add anything to you. These are times to try and invest, sensible investment. These are not times where you gamble. These are not times where you do MMM. They have all kind of ways where you can do MMM. It literally doesn't have to be in the name of MMM. Someone tells you there's this thing they're doing, there's this Ponzi scheme. These are times for you to be smart. So I'm not going to encourage taking position against your currency. Like maybe you go and use your money to buy dollars when it goes up. These are the
Hmm.
reasons why our currency is the way they are for speculators. So I would say, as a Nigerian, as a patriotic Nigerian, if you know you don't have anything to do with your money, save it, put it in the bank, put it in fixed deposit or whatever the thing is. It's literally not going to fly away.
As a
Apart
Nigerian,
from
to cash in hand as a Nigerian, cash in hand currently
cash,
now, not cash in bank.
no cash in back. No, that problem is going to be resolved at some point. But at least you know that when this money is there, the money is there. It's not going anywhere. So these are not time for frivolities. These are not times for just spending like, oh yeah, there's money today, just spend it. We don't know the turn of the economy tomorrow. We don't even know if you're still going to be employed or we're not going to be employed. Nobody's praying for anybody's business to hold up so you can lay off people. But these are the realities of things. The reason we have more spaces for employment in Nigeria right now is because of Japa. The economy has
Yes.
shrunk. The economy has nosedived. I was going through some statistics a while ago and I just saw how our GDP has been nosediving for years now. The CBN has borrowed the federal government trillions of dollars. The NNPC is not generating any money. The two parastatals wing of that's been generating money for the country is the FIRS and the Port Authority. Every other thing is not making money. So the reason we are not really seeing massive sack of people in places. It's because of people that are leaving the country. They're opening up spaces for other people to get employment. So trust me, the economy is really, really, really shrinking. All right. So, like I said earlier, these are not times for crazy investment. If you're not sure of the investment, if you can't speak to financial advisors or people you really trust, just keep your money in your bank. Don't take unnecessary risk. Don't buy bone straight when you already have 10 at home. You can wash them, you can stretch them out. Don't keep buying luxury cars. Don't keep, oh, I want to go to Ibiza today. It's all right to do all of that. I promise you, there's nothing wrong with it. But these are times to think about it twice because for example, can tell you the way I know to make money, what I've been making money for years, suddenly, it's not working anymore. Again, we'll refer to the Bible because like I said, it teaches a lot. There was a time money failed in Egypt.
Yeah.
Money is failing in Nigeria right now. So again, if you're not reading everything properly, you need to start thinking holistically about what's really going on. These are extraordinary times. So these are not times to just be frivolous in your spending. These are times where I know families in other part of the world, people don't like to do same in Nigeria. I know families in other part of the world where my son is 5 years old, your son is 3 years old. I can pass some of my clothes to your son. We know the way kids grow these days. Before you say boom, they've outgrown the new clothes you just bought. There is, you know, it's funny to me how we are happy to buy direct to Kumbo car. And then when someone passes the shirt to you, you're like, does he think I'm hungry? But you bought Tokumboka and you're using Tokumboka. So why can't you use your friend's sons or your cousin's clothes for your own child? These are ways to save money. These are ways to save money. These are things that literally take your money away. You can buy clothes for your kids, 1 million naira this month. I promise you, in 3 months, you won't be able to wear them anymore. That's it.
That's
That 1 million is done. So you can have friends that you guys have like a potluck, for lack of a better word, that you share things within yourselves.
mm,
The times you don't have to go out, you don't have to go out. Save that fuel. The times you don't have to do anything, you don't have to do them. Then when it comes to also feeding as well, there are some things that maybe you might cut those things off. Maybe you like to eat king prawn, you like to eat crabs and all of that. Now, I'm not saying these are bad things, but these are times you might want to take a look at your expenditures and you're thinking, what really can we go without? Okay, so recently I got a dog, right? And then I know dog food, 1 kilogram of dog food is 3,500. This one, that one. It costs a lot of money to look after these animals. And since recently, Madam looked on the internet to look for homemade remedies or how to mix things together to make for the dog. So she saw that you can actually do dried fish, kuli kuli, yellow corn, and things like that. They still give what is required, the nutrient required for the dog, without me having to go and buy 3,500 for 1 kilogram. The dog is going to finish eating in a few days. You get what I mean? Do research, look for ways to save money on certain things. All right, you're looking for cars to buy, and you're thinking, okay, maybe fuel can get to 700. Instead of me to buy a V6 or a V8, maybe I should buy a four-cylinder car or a car that's just, they chop too much for, but it's comfortable as well. I promise you, if you're looking for luxury cars, there are luxury cars that don't have V8 engines.
yeah.
If you're looking for Mercedes, the C300, the 2016 one, is a four-cylinder car. It's not a V6. So as against buying a C43, you can buy a C300. It's still a Mercedes, but it doesn't take as much fuel as that one. The maintenance is also lower. So if you're looking to buy luxury cars, there are luxury cars that you can buy that won't cost as much. These are ways to cope. All right. You need to look at your expenditures very, very closely and cut off the things that you don't. Remember, we said earlier on that your income might not have increased, but costs are
Yeah.
going up. So
That's
whilst you're also thinking that, you know what, since costs have gone up and my income has not increased, it's better I try to manage what I have within the space of what is available. So really, fuel is going to be, let's say you live in Benue and it's 700 naira. We don't know when that is going to come down. And I even put it to you that a lot of us live in Abuja, an urban area like Lagos. The reality is the people in this country that have never bought petrol for normal price. Never. It has never happened. Go to places in the east, go to places in the far north. They've never bought petrol for normal price. It is usually way, way over the pump
Yes.
price. All right. So if you know that your income can't cope with all of this, so why do you now want to buy the car that your friend is driving, knowing that you people earn separately? Why do you
Hmm.
want to buy a car that you cannot maintain? And things like I said are getting worse. Let's use that word. And I promise you, whoever
You
becomes president of this country, whoever emerges as the president of this country, has debt of about almost 100 trillion naira now to take care of. Right?
yeah.
So when he comes in, the first thing is not to share money to you, whether it's a Tinubu, whether it's an Atiku, whether it's Obi, whoever wins is not just coming and then by May, the whole economy everywhere goes soft. No, 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 no. Boo. Yeah? You need to face reality and know that it might get worse. All right? Whoever comes is coming to meet debt of over maybe about 100 or over 100 trillion. I don't know if we have anything foreign reserve or anything to think about. We have our exchange rate hitting the roof. We're still largely an importing economy. So yeah, we don't know how bad it's going to get. So gather your money now, save a lot more, think of ways to multiply your money. This is not time to be frivolous in spending.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. Now, we are bringing it so that here in Africa, we actually live
Mm.
a life. So, how can you handle an irresponsible member of the family or relative that are either financial burdensome, but they are financially burdensome, or they are entitled? They have the entitlement mentality in this current situation that we are in.
I'm sure as soon as you said that, everybody listening in is already they already have a name in their head that, this one, this friend, that friend, or this uncle, or this cousin, or friends of mine, and this. Let me tell you something. A percentage of people that are leaving the country are leaving because of these people. They're not even leaving because of the government. They're leaving because relatives, friends will not even let them be. I promise you, this is
Really?
enough for a lot of people. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. This is why people leave the country and then you can't reach them. There's no phone number, there's nothing. They will send you number. You can send them a message on Instagram and they will never reply you. They just want to be, right? So this burden is a problem, is actually a pandemic. It's actually to a pandemic level. I totally get it that everybody's struggling, all right? Everybody's struggling, everybody's thinking, oh, we don't have enough. Everybody's all over the place thinking or looking for who to help. But in the cases of people that will not work, okay, so the categories are people that won't work, people that are greedy, that nothing is enough for them, people that are entitled, that because you have that means you must give me. So these are different categories of people.
And people
Feel
that are
free to
irresponsible.
Yes, people that are irresponsible. Feel free to add your own list. Another group of people that are living above their means, right? You hear things like fake it until you make it, um, things irresponsible, rascally, uh, words like this. Fake it until you make it. We go form am to, these are irresponsible words. These are things that, these are evil ways of thinking. People that want to live well on someone else's earning. So these guys, the way to deal with them is, if you have people you've been helping in the past, people you've been trying to get jobs for, people you've been trying to help climb up the ladders. And if you notice that they're actually bogging you down, you need to get rid of them. You need to cut them off. If you're trying to save somebody that is drowning, you need to ensure that you yourself don't drown yourself while doing that. Struggling is all of that. So whilst you're trying to help somebody, if the person is pulling you down as well, you need to choose yourself. You need to try and survive. You need to. So when you try to help people, you try to set them up in business. You try to help them every once, pay their school fees and all of that. And if you notice that they're not doing anything to help themselves, it's time for you to get rid of those sort of relationship. Those sort of relationship won't do anything other than put you in more trouble. I'll give you an example. There are people that will come to you, or people have come to me in the past, like, oh, I need help with my house rent. And the first thing I ask is, how much do you earn? And they'd be like, off the top of my head, maybe someone who's earning 150,000 a month. All right. How much is that in a year? That's less than 150,000 a month. That's how much?
That's
Um,
that's 1 point that's
1.6, 1.7. Yeah,
1.7,
something
yeah,
like that.
1.650,
Okay, so the person is,
1.7.
so yeah, you agree with me that people that are earning 150K per month in Abuja, they're really doing well. I'm not saying it's a good, because that's just how much. That's less than $200. But I mean,
1.7 now.
okay, okay, that's about like two. People will look at them as they're doing well, but they're not really doing well. All right. So you earn 1.7 per annum, 150K a year. Okay, let me ask you, where do you think such a person should be living?
Ah, maybe Jukweyo or Kubwa or Karimo Lugbe.
Hello? God bless you. So there's Lugwe, there's
I'm with
Karu, there's but you find out that people that are earning these amounts, they want to stay in town. It's even sad when you hear someone earning 50,000 or 70,000 who is looking for one small room. So I'm looking for one small room in Wusetu, or looking for one small room in Jabi. And I'm like, how do you intend to? I know that a room in Jabi as I speak right now is about 850,000 naira per year. One room.
one room.
One room.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
some you can
So
see 1.2. Some actually a
okay,
million.
so there's no service charge there. You haven't taken out transportation, you haven't taken feeding, maintenance of phone, you haven't taken all of these things out. And so now when someone comes to me and goes like, "Oh, I want help with my rent," I'm like, "How much do you earn?" You tell me how much you earn. Where do you want to live? Once you tell me that this is where you want to live, and this is your rent, I'll tell you, I'll get back to you, and I'll run. I can even block your number so I'll not speak to you again. Okay? Right.
Maybe
Because
the person wants to augment
obviously,
business.
if I love you, if I love you and I feel that there's something I can come into, I'll be like, "See, guy or madam, see this amount you're earning. You shouldn't be living or considering living in places like this. You can't afford it. You go to the satellite town, you go to Apo resettlement, you go to not even local government, you go to Lugo, you go to Kubwa, low income settlement. That's where you should stay. Oh, I don't have a car. There are people that live here that don't have cars. All right.
Yeah.
They take along and they are not dead. If this should not vex you to want to climb up in life, I don't know what will vex you. You don't like taking along. That's fine. You need to do more. All right. If you don't want to take along, it shouldn't be on people's bills. Okay. If you don't want to take along, it shouldn't be on your uncle that lives in America who is working his socks off. No. If you want to do better in life, you need to be willing to work 7 days a week, 15 hours a day to get better. Successful people work extremely hard, right? So, like you said, so like you asked me. So, if anybody is there trying to just leave on you or lean on you too much, and you think they're going to drown you, you need to get rid of them. You need to cut them off. It doesn't matter what relationship they have with you. They are your siblings. They are your mother. They are your father. They're this. They're that. Sometimes you need to choose yourself. You need to be selfish about this. Okay? If you're not selfish about it, you're going to go down with them.
Hmm.
Olówó kan láàrin òtòṣì mẹ́wàá, he will join them. It means that
Yeah.
one rich man in the midst of 10 poor people, they are going to be 11 at some point. All right? 10 plus 1 is 11. You're going to join them because the money is not going to still go around everybody. You, the money you're supposed to be multiplying to help people, you're there sharing it around. So if you have entitled people around you, you have people that are sucking you right around you. If you try to help them, put them in a job, set them up a business, send them to school, and they refuse or they're entitled, you need to get rid of them very, very fast. Because you're not El Shaddai. You can't do this for the rest of your life. You're not El Shaddai. You're not God Almighty. You can only do the best you can do. All right? And trust me, when the chips are down and you get broke, they will be the ones saying, "Oh, and he used to have money." But nobody's going to say, "Oh yeah, I contributed to this guy being broke."
That's true. That's
Lastly, before I return the button to Funke, invest in places, in people that are also investing in you. So surround yourself with people that you lift each other, you pull each other. I need some money for a transaction. I'm going to meet Funke. Funke needs some money for some transaction. She's coming to me. Don't surround yourself with yes mans or yes sirs or people that just hail you because you have money and they're not helping you for anything. Because when it comes to it, or when you go broke, they cannot even help you. So don't surround yourself with hype men. Surround yourself with like minds. Walk, lions don't walk with jackals. Lions don't walk with wolves. Lions walk with lions. Lion hunts with lion. Leopard hunts with leopards. You don't see an elephant and a leopard hunting together. Look for those people that you can work with. Look out for those people that you guys can hunt together. This is another way for you to cope in this difficult time. So whilst you're hunting and you make a kill, you can all eat. If they make a kill, you can all eat. Imagine all of you, if you now make kills, that means there's abundance within your ranks. Stop working with people that are not like minds. Hey, chairman, chairman, chairman. It means nothing. It's because you have a bit of what they want. Once that is gone, they move on to someone else. I rest. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Wow, this this conversation has actually been very, very, very educative and insightful. So let's take comments. So we have okay, we have Agnes Isika blog saying hello. Hi, thank you for tuning in. Okay, so she's saying looking forward to learning more. Yes. Thanks, Bobo Swagger, for bringing this our way. Thank you so much for the feedback. We have Delani saying, hey, hey, thank you for tuning in. We have Adelua saying, Babs preaching good, jotting things down, basic 100%. Thank you so much for that feedback. We have Agnes Itika blog saying, yeah, this is sad. Okay, so I think maybe talking about when we're talking about family members that are actually irresponsible. So if you have any question for our guests tonight, kindly drop it in the comment section, and definitely we would, we would ask him. Now, I want us to talk about family members that live in the house. So, for those family members where they call you on the phone, you can block them, you can tell them to keep their numbers, but those ones living in your house and they are irresponsible,
Mm,
like for example, you buy a tin of milk now and you have calculated that this tin of milk will last, XYZ number of days. But because they are irresponsible, they just, anything they see, there's no form of control, there's no form of thinking about how can we, all live together in this cost of living crisis, to outlive this era. Definitely boom is going to come, but during this era they actually the Bible says I know how to abase and abound, yeah. So but they are like,
mm.
no, I don't care, I'm in their house, they must provide for me. So how do you deal with someone that is a family member? It might be an in-law or it might be your sibling living in your house and is irresponsible and is, how can you deal with that kind of situation?
Okay, I'm going to approach this in two manners. So the minors and the adults. All right. So if you have a minor living in your house, if you have children, as a matter of fact, you should treat them the same way. I mean, they're minors, they're living in your house. Treat them the same way. So these are difficult times, like we said. Rationing, rationing. So if anybody is under 16 or under 18 under my roof, the same way the kids are raised, that's the same way they are going to be raised. Okay, so it got to a point where let me use, I like using practical example. So it got to a point where in the house, I have a couple of people in the house with the kids and all of that. It got to a point where if you open a tin of milk, it literally just disappears, or a tin of a tin of Milo or something. It literally disappears like that. I mean, there was a time we're going through, I don't know how many in a month. All right. So Madame said, you know what? So we went to a friend of ours. We visited a friend of ours. I'm not going to mention his name. Um, he's well to do, very well to do. Like he's very all right. And the wife said, that day they started buying the sachet, those small small ones. Right. So if you need one, you take one. If you need two, you take two. Yeah. And they were able to resolve people just shoveling and just mixing it as they like. So that's sort of like just answered the problem for us as well. The kids go through the same thing. So obviously you're a minor, you go through the same thing. The way I'm raising my kids, same way I'm raising you too. So buy the sachet, very long one. Everybody will tear. Milo, milk, and then you can, okay, sugar is not a problem. So that was how we were able to resolve that. Okay, the milk and the Milo one. So when it comes to, you speak to them, or you don't just leave your lights on, because somehow AEDC has increased how much 10,000 naira buys you how many units. I don't even know how much it buys for you, and it literally just flies off, right? So you let them know that, okay, this is what happens if you're not in one part of the house. Let the light be off. Let the light be off outside. If you're not this, you teach, you speak to them that, look, these things cost money, right? When people stay with you, it's tricky. Everything then boils down to, is it because they're staying with you? So you need to be careful about that. But like I said, if they are minors, you teach them. If you have kids, you let them know that the same rule applies to the kids, that applies to you as well. So those are easier to deal with. You can train them, you can teach them. Oh, the AC, you're not where the AC is. You can, there are smart switches these days where you can switch off the AC for a bit, put it back on a bit, put it on for a bit. Or if nobody's in the living room, why is the AC on? You're just burning unit. For the adults, now that's a trick. That's a that's a tricky one. So let's say there's a copper in your house now who is just serving. I'm sure these are normal occurrences in a lot of households. Or there's somebody that just moved into Abuja that's trying to find his or her fit and lives with you and all of that. You let them know. Don't let them know, or don't let them think that you are what you're not. Right? You're not there doing like this, that there's money on ground when there's nothing on ground, or where you're struggling yourself. So you let them know that, look, these are things I can afford to give you. These are not things I can afford to give you. In some cases, you need to be realistic as well. I'm very brutally honest with them. I cannot house you for more than 6 months. You're an adult. You're a 27-year-old, you're a 30-year-old. I cannot house you more than 6 months. I don't even have rooms for you, but at least you can manage before you find your fit. I'll be looking for work for you while you're also looking for work for yourself. In the meantime, you try not to be too hard on them. So if you notice that it's someone that's very reasonable when it comes to, but if it's someone that's wasteful, you need to tell them that, look, I don't have this money you think I have. Oh. The way you are eating like this, you can't really be eating like that. Oh. And after 6 months, you're going to have to find something. So these conversations need to be had before they move in. Auntie Funke, I'm coming to stay with you. Oh, fantastic. Okay, fine. If you can accommodate the person. If you can't, you say, okay, my younger sister is staying with me at the moment. I only have a 3-bed house. My children are staying in one room. I am staying in one room. The maid is staying in another room. Where make I put you now? It's actually a health hazard as well when you have too many people living in the same house. Respiratory problem, this one problem. You can't account for where everybody's going to. Everybody just comes and share things, and we just be passing things freely between ourselves. We don't even know what. So it's actually a health hazard as well when too many people are in the house. Yeah. But if somehow the person is stuck and you feel led to help this person, then you need to have this conversation. How long are you going to be here for? Oh, like a year. I can't do 1 year. 6 months. If you're speaking to the parents, say, Emma Bruno, don't be angry, but I can't do 1 year. You can't please everybody. That I can do 6 months. Between then, we'll try to save money, or you two, you raise some money. If I can, I'll put some money together. We'll get one room for you somewhere so you can start a life. To be honest, when you house an adult for too long, you're not helping them
Yeah. You're
because
making
they
them
never live up to reality. They are irresponsible. Even if you're a parent, if your child has worked, has gone to school, has done masters, is now working and still staying with you, you're not helping the child. Oh yeah, I don't want the girl now to be all over the place. Single girls are loose. People that are staying with their parents are loose. Oh, I don't want my boy to do this, especially for a boy child. It's going to be a man. It's not he's going to be a man. He's already a man. He's out of school. He needs to be responsible. He needs to be paying bills. He needs to know how he feels to be responsible. I promise you, there are times I wake up and I'm thinking, "Cat, where's my daddy? You know? But it's something it's something that has to continue. All right. So even your own child. So if you're housing an adult who is already working and refusing to move out of your house, you're not helping the adult. You're not helping your child. You're not helping your daughter. I get it. People be like, oh, yeah, she's a single girl. I don't want a single girl to stay alone. Are you joking? We're talking about equality these days. These are arguments I've had on this show over and over again. So because it's a girl, she can't stay alone. She's an adult. In other part of the world, girls live by themselves all the time. If you're so concerned about security, help us settle down. Put her up in a nice place where within a budget, and where check up on her all the time. But babying them or keeping them does not make them develop. It does not make them grow. It does not make them learn to deal with these men that you're trying to save them from. I'm not saying that, yeah, if your child does not have anywhere to go, she's not working, you should throw her out. Yeah. I'm just saying that they should better learn to live with these men they are either going to go and marry in the future. Or, oh, my son is just 24. He can't deal with all these Abuja girls. Really? You're still going to have to deal with one of them. Right? So I've digressed a little bit. But then when you have full grown adults who are working that are staying with you, it's not a good thing. You're not helping them. So for the ones that are not working, what you can do is give them timeline, let them look for a job, help them look for a job, tell the parents that okay, we're all going to have to contribute, and then I'm sure when we pay the first rent, before that one expire, I'm sure they will have gotten a job, and but you're not helping full grown adults that are living with you. You're not. I know a lot of people like adults to live with them because they're also using them for
Yeah.
house girl work, using them
Yeah.
for to babysit and all of that. A lot of
Right.
people won't like this conversation, but that's what you're doing. The reason you want people to live with you is so that they can sit at home with your children or they can wash your car for you. That's why you're staying with them. You then wake up and say, yeah, 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 yeah. They're eating my Milo. Of course they eat your Milo. They're working for it. You're using cheap labor, right? So people won't like this conversation, but that's what it is, right? But if you're genuinely housing somebody who is staying with you, yeah, and the person is working, you need to cut the person loose, right? These
Mm.
things don't happen in developed countries. There's a reason they have the mindset the way they have their mindset. There's a reason they're developed. A 25-year-old is already having startups, doing businesses, making money, the world's youngest billionaire, blah, blah, blah. We don't have that here because at 25, we're still saying gay, 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 and still living with our parents and still saying, Daddy, can I use your car? And your daddy too is saying, oh, yeah, that's my son. He's living in my house, driving my car. No, get him out, get him a job, get him into something. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you so much. This is actually a lot of hard truths that we are actually, telling us tonight. Hard truths. Some conversations need to be hard. Now, as regards this cost of living crisis,
Mm.
are there coping mechanism that you think is most efficient for people dealing with such? Did you hear?
He broke up a little bit. I didn't get that.
Let me take the question again. I said, as regards
Okay.
cost of living crisis, are there
Okay.
coping mechanism that you think is most efficient for people dealing with such pressures?
Oh yeah, there's some of them. So for those that want to write down, you can start jotting things down. The first thing is financial problem, right, or pressure. One,
Yeah.
you need to identify the problem. Is it that I'm not earning enough? Is it that what I'm earning is not able to cope with my expenditure? Is it that my expenses are more than my income? So you need to identify the problem. What is causing my pressure? Am I doing past myself? Am I doing more than myself? So you need to identify that. First thing first, that I have financial problem. What's the problem? Where's the money going? How's the money going? Is it alcohol? Is it bone straight? Is he hanging out on Fridays? You need to identify and cut it out, right? So you need to be honest with yourself. You need to sit down and get a pen and a paper and ask yourself, how is this money going? Is he giving friends and family? How is the money going? Right? So first thing is to identify a problem. Second is to make a budget. Okay, so my salary is 10,000 naira a month, right? My
Yeah.
salary is 10,000 naira a month. How much is feeding? How much is transport? How much is miscellaneous? How much is savings? How much is givens? Givens, yeah. You need to have givens. Once you go past that givens for the month, make the people wait till next month. So in 10,000 naira, so let's say you're giving is 1,000. As you dey share the 100 naira, once you get rid of once that 1,000 naira is finished, any other person will have to wait till next month. So some people don't think they need to cap it. You need to cap how much you give out. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm such. Oh, yeah, I have empathy. I know you do. Thank you, Kwele, Miss Empathy and Mr. Empathy. But you need to have a budget. So part of your budget will have to say, okay, how much is tithe? How much is transportation? How much is feeding? How much is credit, data? How much? You can't just wake up and be loading data every day. I mean, no, you can't just do that. Or you can't just wake up and feel like eating fish and just be doing that. I understand. They say, oh, problem no dey finish. I know say problem no dey finish, but your money go finish. Your money will literally finish if you don't have enough. So you need a budget, right? So the first thing, identify a problem. Second thing,
Okay.
have a budget.
That's
So
okay. Yeah.
yeah, I'm back on now. So the third one is lower your expenses. So you are under financial pressure already. You need to lower your expenses. So if you think, oh yeah, but I'm very frugal, be more frugal. So if you think, oh yeah, out of my 10,000, my transportation is 2,000 naira. So look for a way where you can also reduce this 2,000. Maybe my neighbor goes to my place of work and I don't need to greet that person, no, but I'm gonna be greeting the person, no. If they can help you and cut your expenditure, yeah. I mean, I don't used to talk to that, that man is very proud. It's you that are thinking he's proud, though, just because they don't speak to him. He might actually be a nice person. And you're not going to die if you ask that, oh, can I be going with you? Right? And then maybe every once, for them to know that you're not just a loafer, you'd be like, maybe you put that your transport, you split into two and like, sir, this is 5K. You've been carrying me for 1 month. I don't know if I can buy you fuel. Let him say, no, but trust me, you will appreciate that. This person is not a loafer. Yeah? So it can cost your transportation cost. Find somebody, your colleague. My office where I work, right? We have another office at the other building. Funke knows the other building. They do car sharing. So literally, you see them when they close. Everybody will pack themselves into one car and then they will leave together. I don't know whether they do pool buying or petrol or anything. All I know is they do car sharing, and I'm sure they're cutting. So lower your expenses. So you think, oh yeah, and I've lowered my expenses. Try and lower it more. All right. Yeah, save more money. So for people, pay cash for things. I'm going to have to explain that. Paying cash for things means that don't take things on credit. Don't take things on credit.
You
For
cannot
people that are
afford.
living in developed countries, I don't know if anybody is listening to this from the UK or the US.
We
Credit
have.
card is a problem.
Yeah.
Credit card is a problem. Learn to pay cash. If you don't have cash, sometimes maybe it's because you can't afford it. Even those living in Nigeria as well, you just go to Malam and say, give me this thing, I'll pay. This puts you under pressure. I've had debt financing for projects. It's put me under immense pressure. It puts you under pressure. Learn to pay cash for things. Yeah. So I had to explain that, and I had to really, really learn to pay cash. Cash. If you don't have cash, maybe you can afford this thing. Maybe you can't. So even if you're going to take credit, you need to think about it. Where is this money coming from? Not inshallah and vibe. Not inshallah and vibe. I need 500K there. This is how I'm going to pay for it. Not that, and somehow, somehow I will pay. No, 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 no. You need to know where it's coming from. All right. So stop taking on debt, avoiding aggravating your financial debt. Stop taking on debt. Pay cash. If you don't have cash, think about it very well. Is what I'm buying, is it an investment? Is what I'm investing, borrowing money for, is it something that will generate more money? If it's not a life and death situation, no, don't take it. Pay cash, right? Avoid buying new things. We talked about this thing earlier. We talked about you are buying Tokumboka, but yet you don't have money to buy brand new shirts. Yeah, you don't have money to buy brand new Ralph Lauren shirt. They sell the Tokumbo, the what they call them, the used clothes. Yeah, because you've seen a friend of yours buying Ralph Lauren shirt for how much is it these days? Over $100. That you can buy one polo t-shirt for 100,000 naira. I promise you. You said you go join the matter. You don't even know whether the person bought it use Tokumbo used clothes. You don't even know that, right? So avoid buying new. It is not a problem. You will not die. There are actually luxury shops outside the country where they sell Gucci products it's called pre-owned. Anytime I want to
Period.
buy game, yeah, anytime I want to buy a game, PlayStation games, I go to pre-owned shops in those places or send somebody. I go to pre-owned shop. If the game comes out, it's £60, for example. Pre-owned shop, I buy it for £15. Means if I go play and play and play and sell them to somebody else again. Avoid buying new things. Some of these new things are totally not worth it, I promise you. If you buy a new car today, once you drive it out of the dealership, you've used about 30-40% out of it. So let's say
That's
you
true.
buy a car for $50,000. As soon as you drive it out, if you bring it back, no, 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 no. That $50,000 has become $30,000.
Yes. Depreciation has entered
So
straight.
these are times to
Does
alleviate financial problems. Avoid buying new. I know a lot of people won't agree with me. I know a lot of people will say, no, I cannot. But think about it. Just calm down. Just think about it. You want to buy Bone Street. I'm sure there are people that have used Bone Street.
new. Like you
I
cannot bring
said,
that
I said,
new.
yeah. So there are people that have used their Bone Street for maybe like 6 months and they don't want it again. I mean 3 months, or they don't like it again. People,
Frustrated.
people rent wigs these days. They rent wigs. There are places I've seen where they come and rent wigs. They
I see.
rent suits as well. Yeah. So avoid buying new. These are ways to cope with financial problems, right?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I won't explain the rest. I'll just go through them. I've said
Okay.
this before. Meet with financial advisors, people that you think are smarter than you. They will help you. Be realistic when it comes to resolving your financial problem. When you're in problem, they say, "Guy, come and buy this." You say, "Guy, I cannot afford it." The children, they've increased the school fees. Okay, let's look for another cheaper school. Don't worry, they'll be fine. Some of our greatest, well, some people will argue that quality of education is. I've seen the best mathematicians in Nigeria, this young age category. Some of them are in public schools. Some of them are not even in Abuja. They're not even going to Loyola. They're going to some average school. They're the best mathematician in Nigeria. I mean, kids. I can't remember that child's name. There's one particular child from Port Harcourt. You see the number of medals this girl has. China everywhere. The girl is going everywhere. And she's not in Loyola. No disrespect to anybody that's going to Loyola. I'm not beefing you. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that, you know. So be realistic. Improve your credit score and adapt to, good healthy habits. What are your habits? I like to. Me, I cannot do without eating fish every day. You go broke. I must drink every day. What are your habits? Think about your habits. If your habits are counterproductive, you need to stop them. Thank you.
Thank, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much. So we'll take some comments before we round up our conversation. So we have Meme Concept meaning he's saying spending within your means, learning a lot, 100%. Thank you for that. We have Agnes saying true, so true. So Meme Concept is saying number one, identify the problem. Agnes is laughing. Meme Concept is saying number two, have a budget. Agnes is saying fake it till you make it indeed. Well, we have a lot of we have Agnes saying, we have Neme Concept saying number two, lower your expenses. Agnes is saying some relationships are tough to get rid of. That's very true. But there are some times whereby if something is biting you, you need to take out that thing that is biting you. So in as much as those relationships are very tough to get rid of, God will give you the wisdom to get rid of it. Because as Bob said, if you are drowning, you're helping somebody and you're drowning, you have to let go so that that person do not take you down with him or her. So we have Neme Concept saying number three, no credit, pay cash. We have travel abroad. We live. Thank you so much, ma, for tuning in. She's saying very good teaching. Thanks. Thank you so much, ma, for that feedback. We have I don't know, saying second-hand hair is a no, I beg, as the second-hand second-hand hair. We understand what Pam is trying to say, but you know. So we have never concept saying number four, avoid buying new things. That's true. We have travel abroad with Lina saying, though we here cannot always buy things cash, we need to build our credit score by buying things on credit for so many reasons. For instance, we cannot buy or rent house without credit history. That's for people living
Yeah.
abroad.
Yeah.
So, like I think that mentioned that even if you have
Let
a
me quickly jump onto that. I know how credit score works. All right. So if you have a credit card, it means that whatever you put on the credit card, make sure you're able to pay it back at the end of the month. Or even if you take loan for anything, it shouldn't be. So yeah, I understand how credit card works. Take the credit, collect you're going to take Sky if you're living in the UK, or cable, or your phone contracts, and or your different things, or car finance and all of that. But ensure that whatever you take, you're not taking that credit or a store card. You're not taking that credit because you can't afford it. You're taking it to build your credit scores. So
okay, I think Babs
So
has a
as you're spending on the credit, you're also paying the credit back. So that way your credit score really rises exponentially, right? So the credit that I was talking about is not just about just taking things on credit without being able to pay it back. So whatever you take it to build your credit scores, but make sure you have the capacity to pay it back. You're going to go get a car from dealership, ensure that it's within what you can pay for. It builds your credit score, eyes on the goal, eyes on the goal. Always remember the reason you're taking the credit card, the reason you're taking this credit, eyes on the goal. That's just to jump on that.
thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that insight. So we have travel abroad with Lina saying nice, very smart guy. Thank you so much for that feedback. We have Neme Concept saying meet with a financial advisor and eliminate habits that is counterproductive. Okay, so I think he's taking notes. So we have travel abroad with Lina saying second-hand hair. Second-hand hair got me. So we have Mattel Chukwuemeka. Thank you for tuning in, saying nice one, Babs. Thank you so much for that. So we have travel abroad with Lina saying you are very correct. Buy on credit, pay it. Thumbs up. Thank you so much for that. Now, I have two more questions that I would ask. Probably we call it a day or an evening, wherever it is that we are. Now, in this cost of living crisis, how can we live without compromising?
Without what?
Compromising.
How can we live without compromising? Compromise is an everyday thing. Yeah, always in economics we call it alternative for gone.
Let me ask the question. So the compromise I'm talking about is like, for example, now let me use Kule Remi's story. Now his eyes is he wants to be an actor, yeah, and then he goes to meet XYZ.
Mm.
XYZ is saying, "Come, let me sodomize you," you know, introduce shots and all of that. So we even have some ladies where maybe they want to get a job. They're saying, "Come, let me give you like that kind of compromise so that you can get money, you can get this." So people have bills to pay. There's no money anywhere they're looking for. So how can we live in this cost of living crisis situation that we're in without actually compromising? Negative compromise. Because you can actually compromise when you're
Negative
doing
compromise. Okay.
of that, but I'm talking about negative compromise.
Okay. Siba, the way I see it is we must have standards. We must have lines. We must have
Values.
certain things that were not valued. There are certain things we're not. We've talked about morally bankrupt society on this program a long time ago. So we
Yes.
must have things we're not willing to do, or the level we're not willing to descend to or go low to achieve certain things. So my usual example that I give to everybody is, look, there are always easy ways to get everything. There's a Yoruba proverb that says that "Iṣẹ́ tó le lọ̀lẹ máa ṣe kẹ́yìn." It is that difficult thing that you're looking for shortcut that you do eventually. Now, everybody's going to school, they're doing further maths. They say you don't want to do further maths. They say you should study architecture. You say, no, it's too hard. They say you should study this one. You say, no, you cannot do it. They say you should do this one. You say, you're not going to do it. It's the difficult one you're going to do eventually. Riding Okada and 15 naira per this thing is hard. Carrying concrete the whole day at 1.5 is hard. Now, the compromise, leading, I'm just building the background for it. So the compromise you're talking about is there are always that shortcut to do everything. All right.
Yeah.
You can be an arm robber. You can do wrongs. You can do benefit. You can do any of these things to make money. But eventually, this shortcut will always have their repercussion. Are you ready? Are you willing to live with this repercussion? Yeah, you go to the place, they say, oh, do you want to get this job? Do this so that I can give you the job. You won't stop. Trust me. Because there will be a time you need to be promoted. You still need to do the same thing you did to get in. So before you start, think and well. Right? If you go to Babada, you want to do jazz for this. They say, okay, bring one goat. From goat, it will become cow. From cow, it will become elephant. From elephant, it will become your child. Right? So if you get into a job by sleeping with somebody getting into the job, whereas it can be man and woman, man or woman, no. Men also sleep with people to get into job as well. But just know that you're going to have to continue doing it. So count the cost before you start. Do you want to continue in this same vein? This compromise we're talking about, there are people that have risen to the pinnacle of their career. They never had to compromise or anything. There's so many people that hard work has paid off for them, and they're there. Why do we always pick up wrong examples as models? Why? I'm curious to ask us as Africans and Nigerians.
I think it's the advent of social media.
Why do we not use proper people as models?
Because that's what
someone I know says you can win by righteousness. You can do. There are people that have done these things. So, if you want to compromise, I'm not going to stand here and be, moral high ground, or I'm Jesus himself or anything. But ask yourself, can you continue? So you want a chance to be on a movie set, you go and spend one night somewhere. You're going to continue spending one night. I promise you, people don't become gigolos or prostitutes just overnight. It's a build-up.
Yeah.
After a while, you realize the power that comes with. You realize the power that comes with this. Then later, you become from being shy to, this is what I do. I am sure that everybody didn't just start by being a gigolo or just standing by roadside and displaying their wares or anything. It starts bit by bit. It gets to a point where this is your trading stock. This is what you're known for. And then you become so great at it. Right? So compromise. Ask yourself, can I continue? Is it really worth it? Because I think you compromise on, and then you're asking yourself that, okay, this thing that I just done now for 20K, what kind of business is this one? It's rubbish.
Yeah.
So is it really worth it? Okay, it's not even 20K, it's 1 million naira. Is it really worth it? Because these things come with conditions as well. Yes. It comes with condition. It comes with a lot of condition. Oh, if I do this for you, and repercussion. If you're not willing to live with consequences, don't start. For every action, Newton's law, there's always something. There's always something that comes with it.
Thank you so much.
There's always repercussion. There's consequences. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that, Bob. So now on to the next question. What is your advice to those people who leave home to feed home?
They do what?
I said, what is your advice to those people who leave home to feed home?
Who leave home?
What is your advice to those people who leave home to feed home? People that leave home.
I didn't quite get it. Like,
okay, so there are some people that actually travel out of the country to be able to start sending money back home, or there are some people that actually leave one particular location, maybe like a rural settlement to an urban settlement, to be able to send money home to feed home, or people even within the urban settlement that leave maybe a particular area to another area to be able to take care of the house. So what's your advice to them? as
Sorry,
regards this cost
sorry,
of
the
living.
network was just really bad. Okay, leave home to feed home,
Yes, people who leave
right?
home to home.
Okay,
Yes, what's your advice to them during this cost
okay.
of living
So
crisis?
we've spoken about this before. What is a noble thing for you to want to look out for your family is a very noble thing to do. To want to, feed your family, be responsible for them, and all of that. But we have to realize, and we have to get to a point where we're saying, you know what? It's all right. I want to help. It's all right for me to help my aged parents, but feeding able-bodied adults who are capable of working and not working is actually folly. It is stupidity. You don't get two names. There's no other way to talk about it. It's all right to help people. It's all right to also tell them that, look, I'm helping you so that you too, you can find your fit. What do you want to do in life? Do you want to learn? Do you want to learn a trade? Funke, right now we have shortages of artisans. We have tilers coming in from Cotonou because our people won't work. People don't want to work. They don't want to learn mechanic work anymore. They don't want to learn plumbing work anymore. We have shortages of artisans. It's not everybody that will go to school. Not everybody will be a professor. Not everybody will be an engineer. The informal sector is what has kept this country grounded. The drivers, the plumbers, these are where majority of people are employed. The number of people working in blue collar, you know, companies, they're less than 10%. Over 70% are employed in the informal sector. Artisans, masons, drivers, mechanic, hawkers. Our economy is not that developed, right? So we need spaces for all these people to keep the economy ticking. Okay? So if people are refusing to do this thing, it's a problem. People will have enough time to join banditry. People will have enough time to join ISIS, ISWAP. All right. So if I'm leaving home to be feeding people that refuse to work, they'll have enough time to marry 3 wives and have 20 kids. They don't do anything. This is their social. This is what they do for socials. Just go and come and see one girl in the neighborhood and knock her up. We cannot continue to encourage this.
That's very true.
We cannot continue to encourage this mediocrity. We cannot continue to encourage this. No, we can't. So leaving home to feed home. Are they your aged parents? Are they people that are physically not able to work? Are they your younger ones that are still growing and in school? Those will make sense. But leaving home to feed home people that can work and won't work, it is stupidity. It is folly. Stop it. You're contributing to the ills of the society. You're not helping anybody. Don't see yourself as a savior. No, you're not a savior. You're an idiot causing more problems for the society. Everybody should be contributing to the commonwealth of the nation. Everybody should be in some level of production, offer services. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have Tyrannosco saying, buy same brand new stuff by checking out for promo coupons or clearance sales cheaper than you can imagine, especially off season. Thank you so much for that, sir. We have
Yeah.
Mattel saying, you have done justice to the topic, Babs. Well done, bro. You want to say something?
Oh yeah, I was giving thumbs up to someone that said, oh yeah, you can check out coupons, you can check out. There's so many ways for you to cut. Yeah, yeah. There are places. If you live in Abuja, I've heard people compare prices at Ebano. I've heard people compare prices at Sahad, and they even said some things are better in open market. Get into this conversation. Buying things expensively doesn't make you a big boy. It might just make you an idiot. It might just make you wasteful.
It
If
does.
everybody follow who know road, if people get away where they take cut price somewhere legally, ask, find out how far. Okay, I want to change my brake pad. How much? What are they? What is it? Get involved, right?
Thank you so
Follow who
much.
know road. Yeah.
Follow Rodo, it gets why. So we have Tyrannosco saying, thanks for sharing this topic, very timely. That's true. We have Mateo saying, pay back without stress. Yes, that's when you take credit. We
Mm.
have Travel What Wilina said, it's nice seeing a young person talking about finance. God bless you, Babs Deji. Thank you
Mm.
so much for the feedback. We have
Thank you.
Nema saying, count the cost. Thinking, yeah, you have to count the cost. We have Tyrannos who saying, plan your trip, go to only essential places to save money on fuel and your car maintenance. Same tip, same tips for other households. Focus only on needs after withdrawing your scale of preference. God meets needs. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
sir,
Mm.
for that. Thank you so much, Babs, also for coming on the show today, and also for sharing your wealth of knowledge and experience with us. It's always nice having you on the show. So, in conclusion, what will you say about how to deal with financial pressure?
We'll go through the list. For people that have written the list down, to deal with it, you need to identify the problem. You need to cut your expenses. You need to avoid buying new, avoid debt. You need to avoid showing off. You need to, look at your expenditures. You know your income already. You know how much you earn. Don't go over it. It's go figure. It's not. Just follow these tips.
Thank you
If you're
so much.
already in a financial problem, don't make it worse. Don't take up alcohol. Don't take up womanizing. Don't take up. Some people will say, "Oh, yeah, it's just comfort feeding." You're increasing the problem you're in already. You have obesity. You have health problem. You have BP problem. No, know the problem and then deal with it. Please go through the list again. If you want some of this list, I can send it to
Yeah.
Funke. She can share it as well.
Thank you so much for that. And then I will add, in
Mm.
everything, trust God. Once you've done everything, trust God. God will definitely provide for you. For those people that, are materialistic, now it's
Yeah.
time to that, materialistic nature. And also live within your means, and, live within your budget. And even what you're earning, ensure you save from it. Do not use all your hand. Come your way next time. This is Bogosaga, and this is Swagger's Lifestyle. Thank you so much, Bob. Thank you so very much, for coming on the show today, and also for having this conversation. Bye. Take care, and bye. Thanks, Bob.
Bye.
Thank you.
Adieu.